I'm Zeno Roman for the Surfcasters Journal. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that we don't talk about a lot, which is bait fishing. A lot of guys, when it comes to gear for bait fishing, are just trying to use their spinning gear that they use for plug fishing and just buy a few sinkers and hooks and just kind of move along. I don't agree with that concept or an approach. I find that the rods that we have for plugging are not suitable for fishing with bait. Now, when I say fishing with bait, a lot of guys will be like, well, I'm using, a clam and a 2-ounce sinker, and, I'm fishing in Europe and I'm using a 15-foot rod. Okay, granted, I'm not going to talk about stuff I don't know nothing about. I'm going to talk about stuff the way we fish out in Northeast for striped bass, which is mostly with big pieces of bait like this. This is a head of a bunker right here. Big weights. I generally start with 6 and I end up somewhere around 12. This is a pyramid sinker, a fish finder rig, and a hook. Now, some of you are going to look at it and going to say, wow, that guy's got a really, really short leader. This is about as shorter or a longer leader as I ever going to make. This is about a 12-inch. There's a reason for this. When you buy a long leaders in the store and your sinker is here and your leader is 48 inches away, which the leaders that they sell in the store are usually made for boats, and you try to cast that, it's going to tend to helicopter around where the bait's going to go one way and your sinker's going to go another way. So by keeping a leader really short and close to the sinker, when you cast this whole thing, it's just going to go together. I have a rig right here that I can show you. This is my standard rig. This is my conventional rod. And basically when I cast this out, it's going to stand together. The other thing is, a lot of guys are going to say, well, why would you use a conventional reel or rod for fishing with bait? I've been using it spinning for, all my life, and my father has. Look, the conventional rods are, first of all, stronger. They're made for bait fishing. They control the fish better. They are able to cast heavy payloads further distance. This is my standard. I just wanted to show you an example. This is my standard ODM rod. This is what I've been using the last few years. I don't know the rating. I believe it's 2 to 6. And I just want to show you what happens to this rod when I just put the weight of 10 ounces of lead. Look at the tip. 10 ounces of lead and a head. The rod's already bent and I haven't even made a cast yet. Okay, so it's not designed to be cast payloads like that. This is a 136 mH, I believe, lamy glass conventional rod. This is 10 ounces and a head, and the tip hasn't even budged yet. A 20-pound bass, this rod is just going to laugh at it. It's not even going to bend it. So this rod is able to deliver this fairly far and with no strain on the rod. You can't, if you try to cast with this rod that much weight, it might just break on you. So there's a reason why the conventional is actually a better choice for using for bait. Obviously, you're going to need a sand spike of some kind, either a metal or a plastic. In my view, the only thing you really want to use sand spike is to change the bait. You really don't want to put your rod in. Our friend did it last week, I believe. He put some a rod in the sand spike for a few minutes. He went to the truck, he came back, the spike was there, the rod was gone, the reel was gone, the fish took the whole thing. So in my opinion, there is never a good time to spike your rod and go drink beer and just chill out. I mean, I know if you wanted to spend the summers with the kids and that's all kind of cool on the beach, that's fine. But if you really want to concentrate on catching big fish, you should be holding your rod at all times. The other thing is, I know there's a bait runner feature on most of the, not most of the, some of the spinning rods that are used for bait. I don't like it. I find this a lot easier if you hold your conventional and it's open. So if the fish takes a line, all you got to do is take your finger off, and the line will come right off. The fish will never know that you're there, and all you got to do then is close it and just hit the fish. So I find that from the control standpoint, it's a much better product to use. Obviously, it takes a little bit of time for you to get used to using a conventional. You got to get a little educated thumb. I find personally that mono for me works better than braid. I do know a lot of guys like braid. I don't like braid for bait fishing. It's just a personal preference. The standard rig, like I said, it's fairly simple. It is a sliding fish finder that you thread your line through to a swivel and a short leader. That's it. That's basically, you want to keep it simple. You want to get a pyramid sinker, which will bury itself in the sand when it lands in the sand and will keep your thing stationary. Obviously, if you wanted to have it move along and you're fishing for fluke and you wanted to have an egg sinker that's going to roll with the current, you're going to use that. But this is basically a basic primer of how to fish bait in Northeast where we fish. The choice of your bait will be up to you. Depends where you live, depends what's available. I usually like heads a lot. On a bunker, I'll use the next piece right next to the head. The third piece is usually a bluefish bait. The tails I generally won't use. So that's just a personal preference. Some guys make 10 pieces out of a bunker. I like to make 3 pieces out of a bunker. So that's basically it. Just a few things to help you get started in bait fishing. The hooks, I know I haven't touched on it. Probably something like an 8-0 or 10-0 Gamakatsu octopus. We'll show you some close-ups so you can see them. I usually try to go to about 10-0 Gamakatsu octopus. Fish finder can be any brand. And a pyramid sinker, Hatter sinker, Sputnik, they're all different type of pyramid sinker. They'll bury the stuff in the sand. Also, I forgot to mention, circle hooks are popular these days with a conservation and catch and release. So if you want to use a circle hook, by all means do. There's a little bit of a learning curve with circle hooks, and it's not really a learning curve. What it is circle hooks, you're not supposed to set the hook. The hook will set itself. So what happens is, as you usually would with fish, if you get a bump, you're going to let them take the line until the line comes tight, and then you're going to set on a hook. With a circle hook, if the fish is taking line, you close your reel and you just wait, and literally you start to reel until the reel comes set, till the line comes tight. What happens, the circle hooks will go inside of their mouth and they swallow it, and then the hook will come out and it'll usually catch them right in the corner of the mouth as they are running away with your bait. It's a really neat way for conservation. I just can't, I like to set the hook. I just, to be reeling and a fish catch itself, it's almost like going on a party boat and somebody, you know, a charter boat says, yeah, I hooked a fish here, you reel. So I like the J hooks, but by all means, if circle hooks is what you like, you're gonna have to go with the bigger hooks, because the smaller, like 8-0 circle hooks, you're not gonna be able to get around a big chunk of bunker. So just keep that in mind when you are getting your circle hooks.